Kaushik, there is no audio. Huh? You want to start the session and play the thing later again somewhere in between. You can. Okay.
Prashik sir. Prashik sir. I should okay. Okay. So I should continue, no? Okay. A very good, a very happy afternoon to all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on this auspicious second day of national webinar on media in the time of COVID-19, organized by Department of BAMMC of KLE Society's Science and Commerce College, Kalamboli. Today we are going to acquire some glimpse on advertising and branding during and post COVID-19. As we all are going through an unprecedented time, that is a lockdown, there is a fundamental shift in consumer buying behavior and media consumption. Consumers are now avoiding stepping outside and move tremendously towards online shopping. So, advertising space is seeing an explosive growth in digital content consumption by keeping an eye on increased TV viewership in this lockdown. Advertisers across industries responded differently to this situation. Some companies are doubling down on brand building by highlighting their efforts towards combating the situation. In this scenario, couple of most pertinent questions that arises are what should advertisers do in current situation and what opportunities actually exist in short term as well as in long term. Our today's guest speaker, Mr. Mangesh Borse sir, will exactly enlighten us about it with the help of some case studies. So, by not taking more time, I would like to hand over the mic to Ms. Dipali Kadam, in charge BMMC department, to introduce our today's guest speaker and proceed further. Thank you. Over to you, Dipali ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Ms. Dipali Kadam, the in charge of BMMC department, would like to welcome you all in this 2 days national webinar for the today's session, that is advertising and branding during and post COVID-19. It is rather a great pleasure for me to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Mangesh Borse, who is going to talk about to us about the advertising and branding during and post COVID-19 and how the strategies of both has been changed in this particular situation and what kind of impact or rather long-term impact it will have on the market. Mr. Mangesh Borse has been working in the field of advertising, academics, and media for about past 33 years. He is the founder of National Institute of Digital Communication, which was set up in the year of 2019, and he is the founder director of Symbiosis Advertising Private Limited, which was established in the year of 1993, and rather which is one of the leading media companies in the field of innovative outdoor and ambient advertising. Mr. Borse, he has already spent 16 years in account management and, of course, in the brand research as well with the top five advertising agencies like Mudra Communications, Leo Burnett, Ogilvy and Mather, Madison, Low Lintas, and he managed the brands like Bajaj Auto, Ariel, Wix, Whisper, HSBC, Cadbury Spur, Reliance World Cup, and Tata Consultancy Services. Mr. Borse has been leading the most successful entrepreneurial venture from the past 17 years. Simultaneously, he pursued the passion for academics for more than 33 years at Wellingers Institute of Management, and he also conducted marketing, branding, integrated marketing and communications and media courses for the MBAs as a professor of marketing. He has also conducted management development programs with top corporates. He is an ex-dean of media and entertainment course at V School, and currently he is working as a guest faculty at Xavier's, IGTC, and University of Mumbai. Now, I would like to continue our session, or rather, I would like to over the next station to our today's guest, Mr. Mangesh Borse, and I request all the participants to put their questions in the YouTube live chat box, and their answers will be given during the question and answer session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Dipali ma'am,
Yes.
uh, I I think Mangesh sir has been not there because of some technical issue.
Okay.
He will be rejoining us in 5 minutes.
Okay. Shall I tell the participants?
Yeah.
Sir has messaged me what happened. Dear participants, there is a technical issue from the host, from the guest side. He'll be joining us within 5 minutes.
Is it audible, sir?
हाँ 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 हाँ. हॅलो नेहा मॅम. सर जॉईन व्हायचं बघतायत पण माहिती नाही त्यांचं कनेक्शन वगैरे सगळं स्ट्रॉंग आहे तिथे व्यवस्थित आहे. हो हो हो. सांगितलंय मी त्यांना ही इज ट्राईंग बट आय डोंट नो समहाऊ काय करू आपल्या लोक
Neha, hello.
Yes, sir.
For just 1 or 2 minutes you take, or otherwise you develop another link and communicate. Prior to that, you communicate to all participants. No, most of the last time also the same thing was happened.
Yes, sir.
So
It is already
immediately,
communicated. Yes, sir.
that also you can try. Sir will try for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. If not
Okay.
possible, then you develop another link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
What I'll do is this one, Prashik.
Yes, sir.
See, if my internet gets fine over here, there is some complete crash down actually. If my internet gets fine, then I'll try to reconnect from the laptop. At that time, you guys just take me on the laptop. If
Yes, sir. Yes. Sure,
so,
sir.
if you see me talking from two different these things, then take me to the other one. Okay, I'll just start the
Yes, sir.
session in 2 minutes. I'll start the session.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're showing the video. You're done with it.
Yeah, we are live, sir. You can continue with your presentation.
We're live.
Yeah.
So sorry for this confusion. There was some collapse in the complete connectivity. We are going to discuss advertising and branding during post-COVID. As you all know, that sometime in February, COVID actually hit us in a big way. We were hearing about it. We were reading about it from December and all through Jan. We knew that something is coming, but we kept on somehow praying that it's not going to hit India. But eventually, it did. And if you know the figures as of now, we are around 86 lakh people all over the world are infected by it. About 4.5 lakhs in India are infected by it. We have lost quite a few people in this whole thing. And when we look at business, how exactly are businesses going to be affected by it? We are going to see that today. And I am going to be, right now I am on a mobile, as you might be able to see. So, sometime in the middle of this session, once the connectivities get fine, I will move back to the laptop. That's where we will be able to actually share the presentation with you. Today, what do we want to do? We are going to be looking at branding, advertising, and some concepts. I know that you guys have done it in great detail. But I would like to explain to you how I look at a brand in very short, and how I look at products or advertising or whatever, and what is my definition of these concepts. Then we are also going to look at exactly how COVID made a difference to the marketing economy. Our focus is going to be more in terms of, did it make a difference to markets? Did it make a difference to and how did it make a difference? What kind of differences did it make? So we will have to, we will visit that part once again. After that, we are going to be, at some stage, we'll look at the uncertainties which come along with it. The moment when we are looking at uncertainties, frankly, it is very obvious that when we are looking at uncertainties, it is always important to know that uncertainties don't have any specific, by the very definition, it is uncertain, which means that nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. If we knew that so and so, COVID is going to hit us or whatever, then we would all have been ready with it, right? We would all have been ready for it in some way or another. The fact is that we were not. The fact is that nobody knew about it. The fact is that nobody thought that something like this would ever happen. So from that perspective, yes, COVID is a bit of a surprise. And really, if anyone says that, yeah, I knew about it, and actually it's going to happen, so all that, you need to just neglect. And finally, we will come down to creative strategies, and what exactly would a brand manager really try to do in this circumstances. Simultaneously, we are also going to look at 2 or 3 things. I understand most of you all are students. So how does COVID affect us is also a very important concept, because we need to know, how does COVID affect us? How exactly we would like to, face COVID as students. Okay, what happens to our placements? How do we do our MBA? How is it going to affect us? We are all at home all of a sudden. We can't even, go out in the industry. We don't know what's happening. And then what kind of an MBA will we become at the end of it? So these are honestly very valid questions. And to really face these questions in the correct manner, I think we need to just be a bit practical and bit fair to ourselves, first of all, and then realize and see the best that we can do in this situation. Anyways, let's get going with the definitions. The first one is about products. Product, according to me, is an entity that offers some kind of a function. A glass of water is the product, and its function is to ensure that it can hold some liquid and which one can drink very comfortably by holding it. So every single uh, every single function, every single product has its own functions, and that's exactly what we are trying to see over here. Brand, my definition of brand is very simple. It's a product plus it's an emotion which is surrounding it. So it's not necessarily only when you say a Coca-Cola, or when you say an Ariel, or when you say a Vicks, it's not only the Vicks, correct? It's not, if you can just go and buy some Kala Khatta somewhere and pour it in a Coke bottle, it does not become Coke, correct? The moment you pour, you take a bottle of Bisleri, and the moment you remove the label Bisleri from it, it does not become, no, it is no more Bisleri. It's as simple as that. So what is it that comes when you put a brand name? So that exactly is what is known as a product plus an emotion. Then the third thing is advertising. It's advertising in general is the easiest way to understand advertising. Is it is a communication solution to a marketing challenge. Okay, so there is a marketing challenge. There is something which needs to be done. Okay, and we are looking at, okay, how exactly are we going to solve certain marketing problems. And when we are solving marketing problems, the best way to look at it is face it and solve it. But we are trying to find out a solution to a marketing problem using communications. uh, can I request the administrators to please send me an email if possible with the coordinates of joining this meeting? Okay? So if you can send an email and not a WhatsApp, because I'm using my mobile, it will really help. Yeah, okay, thanks. The next definition I would look at is consumer behavior, which is fairly simple. We are always, as students of marketing, we are always trying to find out what exactly goes through the minds of the customer. Okay, so understanding it and then trying to predict, okay, exactly how will and how does he make decisions. Decision making is important for everybody. All of us, decision making is critical. So we all want to understand that how do they think, and what can happen if I am brand A and I have a competitor brand B. What should I do to bring him to brand A and not allow him to go to brand B? So that's on the consumer behavior. Then of course the market is nothing else but the battlefield of all your marketing businessmen. Okay, media. Now coming towards advertising, I just want to quickly ask you, if I ask you that, take a television channel like say Colors, okay, or more than Colors, say CNBC, and if I ask you who according to you is the primary target audience of CNBC, you will probably tell me obviously it is businessmen, obviously it is business people, traders, you will tell me all that. You will tell me stockbrokers, share market enthusiasts. Now I'm going to tell you that your answer is wrong. You will say, why is my answer wrong? What is wrong in it? It's very simple. All media. You have to understand the complete ecosystem of media. The primary target for survival is advertising. Okay, if media does not get advertising, it needs government support, because media has to survive, and only on subscription money is very few medias have been able to subscribe. So either there is someone who's supporting media, like say for example Netflix or whatever. So many people have invested in these entities so that they are able to, at minimal subscriptions, they are trying to help us out, and they are able to run. If that doesn't happen, then media needs advertising, as simple as that. Finally, I read about this very interesting concept recently, and then I found out that the concept also is pretty recent, and that is known as the black swan event. Okay, what is a black swan event? A swan is always white, right? House, what we call as hunts. So, if we are looking at a black swan event, then how come that why are we looking at the black swan event? It's very simple. We are looking at the black swan event because COVID itself is a black swan event. It's not. It's something which happens. It is beyond normal, it is catastrophic. It creates a lot of damage. So that's the reason of the behind that. Then let's come to, unfortunately, I'm feeling very, very handicapped actually, because I'm not able to show you and share my slides with you. But the next, we will quickly move on to when COVID hit us. The first thing that happened is the stock market crashed. Correct. So there is something called an S&P BSE index, and if you look at this graph later on after this session, you will actually see that from 1915 it kept on climbing slowly. There were slight glitches, but on the whole, it was just climbing upwards. Okay, and in February, it is a straight crash. It has just come down vertically. I mean, it's something which is very difficult to believe that something can crash. But obviously, that's what our dear COVID has done, and it has come down. Today, the stock markets are at the same level as they were in 2015. So in one 1 month we have gone back and we've become younger. You can say that 5 years. Anyway, so when COVID hit, a lot of categories were hit. Some of the categories which were obviously hit, and I'm sure you must have. Yeah, okay, thanks, Professor. So one of the important things, I don't have, there is some issue with the internet over here, and it's a complete crash down because I have two connections. The third one is the mobile which I'm using right now, but I don't have any other way to connect. So that's the reason why I'm trying to connect it through my iPhone, and if that happens, I'll see. Okay, so one of the very interesting categories which did not do well was actually the lipstick category, and you must have read about this. That lipstick was one of the first categories because faces were masked, and plus people were not really going out. So one of the early categories which actually lost out was lipsticks. Interestingly, while lipsticks lost out, nails did very well. So nail enamels and all the products which were the cosmetics around the nails, they picked up. Another very interesting thing which picked up was the eyes. So products like kajal, mascara, all of a sudden, marketing journals are talking about something very interesting called the kajal index. Okay, so there is something called the marketing index, and then there is something called the kajal index. So sorry, there is something called the lipstick index, and there is something called the kajal index. Now the kajal index is nothing. The lipstick index was something which was a concept by the chairman of Estee Lauder, which obviously makes lipsticks. He said that when the markets go down, the sales of lipstick goes up. That's what he believed, and so that's how there was this huge discussion of exactly how does so I have connected, but I'll try to. Professor Prashik. Yeah, so I have connected from the other one, but it's a low frequency thing. So see whatever you can do. I'll try to start the presentation over there. No, I'm connected. Can you see?
Prashik sir, he is connected.
Yes, sir, you are connected.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. 2 minutes, friends. I'll just come back.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. So I hope this is slightly better. So you can probably see that with the faces mask, lipstick stays down, focus shifted from from lipsticks to nails and eyes. Okay, all of a sudden products like the mascara started doing much better than what they were doing earlier. Uh, Simultaneously, some terrible things happened with the economy. In case of India alone, we are talking of a GDP, growth shrinking by from 3 to 6%. Obviously, the Indian institutes are saying that it will be around three and a half, four, and the international researchers are saying that it will be somewhere around six. So incomes will drop, jobs will be lost. These are things which one has to face, but these are not permanent losses. These are for some time. What will not see a drop is agriculture and government. Okay, obviously these are the two areas, and especially agriculture. In fact, one interesting thing which has come out after COVID is food as a business has turned out to be a huge, support, and even for the government, it has turned out to be a big surprise. Actually, all of a sudden, the farmer has become very important in this game. We are, of course, we are looking at a concept which is completely uncertain. Nobody can predict really what's going to happen next, because really nobody knows. So students want to know what are the placement opportunities, entrepreneurs want to know what are the business opportunities, businessmen are looking at rebounding, how do I get back, how do I cover three no revenues for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months is a very dangerous thing for any businessman who operates at typically at 5 to 6 percent of a net profit. So if you can imagine, if you're making 5 to 6% after working for say 12 months, and if you lose out 3 to 4 months in between, your turnover is lost, and to cover up that kind of turnover, it is obviously going to take a lot of time. Employed, those who are employed, can they look at better growth? Customers, however, meanwhile, are the ones who really gained the most. Okay, what happened is they started looking for better and better deals. What happened to advertising world simultaneously? So I won't take too long, because I will be sharing this presentation with you all. So basically, ad spends got down by 24%. The media which were hit the most was cinema. Obviously, cinema, you all know that we ourselves, we don't know when we will see ourselves at the theaters. And even if we go to the theaters, will it be the same? Will it be the multiplexes? Will we see all those cinema halls, hall one, hall two, hall three, hall four? Will we ever have that famous samosa again, which obviously we felt, and I read a very interesting note on it, that a lot has been earned and enough is enough. Radio is another medium which is going to lose out. And the third medium which lost out actually because of the lack of traffic was outdoor. And these losses are big, when someone puts it at 45%. So these numbers are coming from, a fairly large research company and a very respected research company known as Media Partners. So they have shared these numbers with me. There is a drop. So newspapers are going to lose out 33%. What's worse is, in case of newspapers, we have got used to that life. We have got used to digital. Even the senior citizens, people who are hardcore habituated to newspapers, they have moved out of it. 33% means one third, people gone. TV ad spends are expected to decline by 25%. In fact, television picked up. Television is a very interesting story. Television, the viewership picked up, okay, but TV channels did not have any inventory to show. They did not have the programming to show. You all must have seen your favorite, or your probably your mom or dad. Somebody must be watching some serials, and over a period of time, their stock got over, and after that, they are just doing reruns. So reruns like Ramayana happened, and whole lot of interesting reruns happened. But why these reruns were happening? Okay, what happened simultaneously is that the advertisers who were there on television, they started moving out. So as lesser and lesser advertisers were there, TV ad spends obviously suffered. Fresh programming will take time. They are saying that by the time fresh programming comes in and television channels go back to their early days, okay, it will be at least 2021 mid. As of now, that's what the guess is. And you know what? Who's going to help television the most? Sports. Sports is going to actually pull them out. It's very unfortunate we lost out IPL. Had IPL been there by now, probably, we all would be watching television much more, and brands would be back. And, the whole thing, it helps when advertisers rush to media, because what happens is slightly there is some change to the demand. Demands are, encouraged, they are catalyzed, and automatically you will see some movement into the market. So everybody is waiting for that wonderful day, and it is definitely coming. We are very close to it. Okay. So this guy, Netflix, I think he was the one who probably earned the most. And as we look at new programming, there are of course some more interesting models. Now all of you all keep asking the same question to me wherever I am, and I am involved in digital education. So obviously this question keeps coming up. Marketing spend, are they biased? Yes, they're not biased. The fact is that digital is delivering because digital is precise, correct? So digital media is precise, and overall, yet even digital advertising expenditure will be going down by around 10%. Again, for the same reason, brands are trying to. So there are four P's, right? A brand or a marketing business typically runs like, it's like being a pilot with only four controls: product, price, promotion, and place. Now, what's happening is right now, uh, the manufacturers are struggling with the other three areas. They're really struggling to get the product. By product, I mean the complete supply chain, ensuring that the production will start. People are not there in the factories, so probably there could be some struggle there. They're fine with the price and customers, and we will discuss the pricing in COVID in some time. Advertising can be ready, but what about places, the physical place? So basically, eventually, all these products are struggling with how to reach out to the customer. So you have to go online, or you have to go to a retailer, maybe that, but simultaneously, the bigger issue is, okay, product. So getting the product right, and in all that, what happened is the advertising spends went down. And online video market, which includes, of course, Netflix and all these people, it is going to grow by 43%. So that's one market which has grown a lot, especially in Asia. And except for digital and television, they are saying that it will take about 2 years for all of us to go back to the 2019 level. So it's a slightly longish game. How has consumer behavior changed, over these last 2 years? And see, the advertising as a concept can be understood only when you try to understand how consumer behaviors happen. Consumer behavior happens when they respond to your messages. Okay. So the first thing is, when we were discussing products just some time back, I'm saying that a completely new generation of products is coming in. I don't know if you read about this. There's a very interesting website called AFAX. So on that, and afax.com, AFAQS.com, will typically tell you what's happening in the world of brands and advertising. It's probably the number one website in that zone. So they have told that there's a new product concept, and lot of uh, consumer durable companies are coming and trying to launch their own version of a produce watch. What is a produce watch? A way to wash your vegetables and fruits before you actually consume them. So you buy something from the market, but you're not going to straight away consume it. So everybody is trying to have their own SOPs, standard operating procedure, before you have a produce wash. And we are saying that, yes, this particular wash, there are new concepts, and there are new products which are coming only for that. Another, concept, it's an old concept, but in India somehow wipes were not so popular. But now Savlon, for example, has recently launched some wipes. So you will see a completely new generation of products, which is probably dedicated to health and safety. All these products are going to talk of how we can be healthier, how can we, and another fundamental shift is the way we are buying products. We are saying that something that is not urgent, it should not be bought. Essentials, fine. We will buy essentials, their priority. So medicines get a lot of priority. Your health, gets the priority. Even the gym equipment at home, that gets priority. It's important, that you stay healthy. And a lot of us have actually experienced health for the first time in the last 3 to 4 months, where you are all alone at home, or you're working out of home, you're probably gymming at home. Look at the difference it has made, right? Then, of course, online shopping has seen tremendous growth. I have already discussed about that. And people, when conditioned to consume certain things in a new way for a long time, they start getting used to it. Correct? We all know of all those experiments that, if there is a certain kind of signal which happens, our body starts behaving in a particular manner. If you are used to having lunch at 1:15, at 1:15, even if you are sleeping, you will wake up and you will look at the watch in that, oh, okay, it's 1:15. Your body will tell you. So it's very normal for that to happen. Uh, the most interesting thing which I read while preparing for this interesting talk is people have actually started liking the live lockdown life. Okay, now this is not expected, but they're saying that people are getting used to, and people are liking that. It's going to take very long for them to, agree to come out of it and get back to your day-to-day thing. So then, what should a brand manager do in this situation? Right. The first thing you need to do is probably reassure. Okay, reassure people, reassure your customers that don't worry. Okay, we are there for you. Look at what he's trying to tell you. Okay, his habits have changed. his his products have changed. He's trying to struggle in his own way. Okay, a new habit, typically, it takes time, and these habits are changing. His products are changing. We are all going through something called the Stockholm syndrome. I don't know how many of you all know about this very interesting, syndrome called Stockholm syndrome. What happens is, if there is a kidnapper, okay, and this is a real story from which has happened in Stockholm, uh, that in Helsinki, that if in case uh, there is a kidnapper, many times the victim falls in love with the kidnapper. Okay, you start, and that syndrome is known as Stockholm. The same thing has happened. People have started liking this particular situation in which we have found ourselves. So, as a brand, one of the very important strategies, another thing which you can think of is empathy. Empathize with, understand what they want. Be relevant. Don't try to. Right now, he's worried about health and safety. You don't try to tell him that your growth will be very faster in your career. Suppose if Bonvita decides to advertise tomorrow and you see some Bonvita ads, that will tell you about how to make yourself stronger from inside, under se mazboot, so that they are talking of a better fighting ability, and a better resilience to fight if at all you get some infection. Correct? So every brand has to understand this. What are they going to base their, what is the premise of the story? It's 99% going to be home, family, and you. Because again, very few of us are going out with friends. Very few of us are actually visiting, relatives. So all those stories are out. See, advertising is nothing else but a mirror to your day-to-day life. Whatever you are doing, advertising will always reflect. And that's the reason why you need to understand. Visibility with relevance. You should be seen. Okay? You should be seen, and then you should be simultaneously relevant. Now, you all must have probably, I don't know how many of you all actually found out the time to go and watch Ramayana. Correct? One of the most important things and very interesting things happen. If you read about the Ramayana story, which the recent Ramayana story, it is very interesting. The first thing is, okay, they had to convert all the formats to something which will become a digital format. There was only one man who believed it, that it could happen, the head of, Doordarshan, and it was his initiative that he did. Now, what happens is, when there's a massive, danger to life, there's a fear. Obviously, your belief in these kind of things like religion, okay, you want to see magic, you want to see something which will get you out of it, that increases, and that's what happened, right? Ramayana was a very, very big hit. You will not believe that. I think that for a particular show, for a particular day, moment, it had 250 million unique viewers and about 77 million at one particular moment on, I think, 15th of April or something. That's the kind of numbers they have clocked. Huge. I mean, the private channels will give their right hand to go anywhere near those numbers. It is that kind of thing. And for that, a programming which happened sometime in the 80s, you can see the way it is, the makeup and everything. Look at the tacky background and everything. But yet, that storytelling, once it is closer to your heart, a story, will always make it good. Another interesting thing was Amul was sponsoring. Amul did a very smart thing because it was nostalgia, because we were being taken back for so many years. Amul actually played ads which were of that time. Okay, so I'll show you one ad which is an ad of the 80s, and I hope it plays well. These are videos, so let's see. Okay. The next case study I'm going to talk about is Nika. Again, all cosmetic companies went through a lot of thinking, a lot of churn, because what happened is they had to struggle. They were struggling and they were worried. How will we be able to face this situation where everybody is in a natural makeup and nobody wants to use our product because nobody is going out. Work from home was the new norm. So Nika, instead of talking to everyone, suddenly started talking to all of those primarily women who were working on their machines, who were working on their laptop, and they were working from home. And a lot of times they were either on some video chat and working, on either on Zoom or any of these apps. So while work from home offers a lot of flexibilities that you don't have to be in makeup, but the only exception is whenever there is some kind of conference and you need to be look a bit presentable. And that's where Nika found out a wonderful plot, and they said they started sending out mailers, okay, to all their people, saying that get ready quickly, groom from your home, groom from your room was the hashtag they used in the digital medium, and it became a massive, interesting thing because every the mailers we just sent or the and they I think this also included their Instagram handle ads and the cards which were shown on Instagram also were similar, where they are saying what is the need to go to a salon? Okay, you can do hair coloring at home, waxing, facials, skincare, anything you can do at home, correct? So they also work very heavily to find out hyper local deliveries. So what is hyper local deliveries means? Basically delivering to your home, something that the Amazon does, something that Flipkart does, so something similar. So while Nika had its own systems earlier, they used to take some time because they would rather prefer that they operate through somebody else. But in this situation, because they were pushing their own delivery system, they created a parallel delivery, and they got about 20% of. They came back to 20% of their business in April and 65% in May, and in June they are targeting about 85% of their normal, which is massive, right? In this situation, they are targeting 85%. I think that's interesting. The next case, so yeah, these are the cards. I'll quickly take you through the cards. So love your skin, groom from your room, color me pretty. Again, don't miss the hashtag. The hashtag is the right move. How to know makeup look. Okay, 21 things you can do at home. So they had day one, day two, day three, 21 days of self-love. It was done with a lot of intent and lot of simplicity also. Work from home, but make it plan. Everything you need to get a video chat ready, get video chat ready. Healthy outside starts from inside. Okay, so that was the Nika case study. We'll quickly move to the Jeep case study. I like the Jeep case study for a simple reason that the brand stands for outdoors. The brand stands for go out, go to the mountains, go to the rivers, go to the highways and enjoy yourself. And here they are stuck with their customer inside. And what did they do? Look at the beautiful work that they did. They created a campaign called Explore the Great Indoors. Even Jeep is staying indoors. Are you? Was the simple ad which they created. And look at the ads that they created. In the first one to your left, which you can see, they are talking of gardening. In the second one, they are talking of books. Okay, and third one, they're talking of trying to do some experimentation indoors, of course, but in the kitchen. It's time to explore the great indoors. Such a wonderful ad, and this campaign has been designed by Cummins and Partners, a very creative agency from Australia. So really fantastic work, a great way. Now you will ask, why are brands doing it? Anyway, उनकी गाड़ी तो बिकने वाली नहीं है. They are not going to sell anything. Well, as you know that out of mind can become out of sight. So when markets come back, like what is going to happen now, as people start going out, Jeep would be definitely remembered and they would not forget. The next ad again is from Range Rover. Okay, something similar, but a very beautiful creative device to tell people go back home. Yeah. Which one? Which video? The previous video there was no audio. But Jeep there was no audio. The audio is did Amul have audio? Okay, I'll do that. Okay, fine. Was there an audio or no? Rashik? Okay. So, Range Rover for now, not forever. Go back is what the thing was. The next case study is an even more interesting study. This is about a category which we all are fearing like anything, and that is the shared cab business. Look at how Uber is trying to create a sense of security or a sense of safety in us.
This is a message from the future. Hi, I'm the next rider, the one who's going to be taking the Uber right after you.
You obviously don't know me,
Or me.
but still, you can take care of all of us by just taking care of yourself.
Make sure to take all the safety steps seriously.
Sanitize your hands.
Wear a mask.
Don't be in a hurry. Please wait for the driver to disinfect your car before you get in.
Make sure your mask is on at all times.
And don't forget to sanitize after.
I know it's a lot, but it's going to keep you safe.
And when you're safe,
I'm safe.
me too.
Me 3.
Me 47.
All of us.
Because safety can spread too.
let's make our ride safer for each other, safer for the next person. Uh, with that, I'm going to come to the last section of this talk today, which is more in terms of a very interesting study, which is done by Cantor. What does this do? This particular study actually talks of, you know, what are the behavioral changes one can expect in in this during this COVID time, and how does it typically happen? Correct. We spoke earlier about habits. In the early when we were discussing about habits, and we were discussing about how habits are taking time. Habits take their own time. Somewhere it has come in that it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. Now, this 21 days, the story of this whole 21 days is something very interesting. Who knows? Till then, you are very disturbed, you are very, uneasy. So, it takes about 21 days for it. So, there's another example which is given. Suppose if somebody has had to, for whatever, for accident or whatever reason, he had to amputate his hand or his foot or something. He said that for about 21 days, they cannot get used to the fact that there is no hand or there is no foot. And the person behaves as if that hand is still there and that foot is still there. So with that, this thing he had said that it takes minimum of 21 days, but unfortunately, marketers, brand managers, everybody took that as a fact. Not true. What happened after that was that this particular thing was researched by uh, a research organization in the UK. Okay, it was a university, and they found out something very interesting. They said that it doesn't take 21 days, but on an average, it takes about 66 days to form a new habit. Okay? 66 days to form a new habit. Now, friends, if you remember, we have been in lockdown from 20th of March. So we are very, we have already crossed to 66 days. And that is the proof. On an average, all of us have got used to, say, for example, not getting many people did not get the newspaper. Few of you all got it. Many people did not get it. So people have without got used to life inside the house. So a lot of things we have got used to in this whole concept. Okay. So retail drag is the first thing which is going to happen. People are going to take time to go back to shops, and that's why the reason behind that is 66% of the customers, they say, will take some time to go back to the mall. Now you can imagine the amount of investments which have gone into the malls, and the fact that for them to get back to business, it's going to be very difficult. I'm sure that you must have read about how Dubai has started its malls, and there is they are controlling the number of people in every shop. There is a minimum distance you have to keep between two customers, and there is a tremendous amount of discipline which comes along with going into a mall in the new situation. We all have been reading how PVR is trying to restart the theaters, and what is the kind of seating they would like to have. We all have been reading about airlines and how airlines are trying to work with the middle seat off. So there is a drag. It will take some time for us to. Another thing is there is a persistent, safety concern. People are worried. People also have financial pressures. Many people haven't earned a rupee over the 3 months. That's where the whole migrant crisis worsened because of that money issue. So there are financial pressures. Okay, and then there are sticky behaviors. Sticky means, suppose if you're doing something, you like to do it, or you get stuck into that rut. Correct? So your behavior becomes sticky. You keep doing the same thing again and again and again. That's what they call a sticky behavior. So there is an inertia to move out from the pandemic behavior. We are going to behave like this for some time. So what should brands do? Brands will need to pivot to find growth in this recession. Pivot means, suppose if there is something good which you see in any aspect of the brand, whether it is a particular, distribution channel which is doing very well, hold on to that distribution channel and go whole hogged on that. That is known as pivoting the distribution channel. Suppose if you are trying two different advertising positionings in two different places, and one particular positioning tends to work better, pivot that position, use that, and go whole hog into that. So the same is true about the product. The same is true about the price. Price, okay, is a very sensitive thing. Customers, everybody wants, a minimum price right now. So if you noticed something very interesting, that most brands were forcing you to buy more. Okay, if you have gone on Amazon, even if you have to buy an agarbatti, you had to buy a big packet, right? And the reason behind that was the small packet was just not available. Okay, so it is not that every time it was because of the lack of material or the lack of stock. Sometimes, these are strategies so that they are able to put you into a habit. See, driving customers into a habit is a very important, job of every marketing manager, and that's what they are doing. So you have to appreciate that as MBA students. So, brands have to give better economic value. You have to always give a sense to people that they are getting a deal when they are dealing with this particular brand now in this situation. And second thing is they are saying that you need to keep innovating, trying different things, okay, and be relevant, okay, because behaviors and priorities are changing very fast. Then they are saying that as lockdown will start easing out, people's fears are going to shift from health to the wealth and then to the future. These are very completely different things, and this research has been done on a very large scale. There are more than 1 lakh responses. They have done this research across countries, 60 different markets, not 60 countries. So Mumbai does become a market, and maybe Bhopal will become a market, and Delhi will become a market. So they have done all over the world. They have found out 60 markets. As lockdown starts becoming easy, people are now worried from instead of health and wealth. So from health, they are moving towards wealth. Now people want to make something. So there are businesses which have to start. The same thing that all countries and our prime minister and our chief ministers are worried about. So that's going to be the next fear. And in this, a new kind of fear is emerging. What if I pick up something? What if something happens? 64% of customers today, 64% consumers are looking for help and advice. Important to get into helping people. Right now, customers want to know a little bit more. Okay, will this work? Will this work? Now, nobody can give a very definitive reply. Correct? We all know that. Like, nobody can say that putting a mask will give you 100% guarantee that you will not get COVID. Nobody will say that. They are saying that it helps. It helps. It has helped Asian countries, and that's why they are saying it will help. Right? But these are advice. Somebody credible, someone important should give this advice, and it will help them. So that's another thing which brands can do. Advertise, and they are saying that only 37, only 1/3 people will get back to what they are doing in the next 3 months. So still 2/3 people are waiting at home. So as students, what should you do? Okay, then you'll say, so hum kya kare abhi? What do we do? We are in the middle of MBA, as we discussed in the beginning. What should I do? Look at brands that will grow exponentially. Right? Look at brands which will do well. Look at brands which will probably, be the future, and start probably learning that. Correct? If you feel that tech brands are going to do better, probably learning something related to tech will help. Right? You all know that you all are, and I'm assuming that most of the audience over here are students or young professionals. I can tell you, I can assure you that you don't have an option of saying that you are not good at technology. Correct? So life is going to be technology. So two things, you need to be good at data, you need to be good at technology. Right? So look at brands that will grow exponentially according to you. Start focusing on that. So I've just given some examples. These are guesses. So these are not, some definitive research. But I feel that a brand like Netflix or Dettol or the Savlons of the world, or even the Himalayas of the world, will do better. Okay, Philips, Siemens. Now these two companies have very powerful medical equipment sections. So those sections will do very well. Lifebuoy, okay, because of the Tandurusti Ka platform, it will do very well. You all know that Lifebuoy sanitizers and whole lot of products, even Asian Paints, came out with a sanitizer product. Uh, One of the case studies which I could not show because of the lack of time was Asian Paints. So Asian Paints came out with a very beautiful campaign which said that if you remember, there was a campaign हर घर कुछ कहता है, इस घर में कौन रहता है, and whole lot of things they say that basically the house gives the personality of the house, and they are saying that you are at home, enjoy that home precisely with your people is what the whole message was. In fact, Asian Paints has done a lot of interesting things. If you read on the internet and if you do some searching, Asian Paints has come out with consecutive beautiful initiatives, okay, related to COVID. And I think you should see that. Ayush, another brand from Unilever, again based on natural health and Himalayas. Then what you can do is you need to base your projects, your researches, your studies around this new normal. If at all you're doing some projects or there are some projects which are coming up, change those projects. They come to the projects which are related to these areas. Secondly, start spending. Obviously, you're spending a lot of time online, but beyond studies and entertainment, start reading a lot online because it will help you. And reading is obviously non-fiction reading, but try to see if you can, really learn what's happening because nobody knows for sure where things are going to go. But at least I can assure you that if you are well read, if you are well aware, you will do very well. Accept the new normal. Okay, lesser pays, few of us. Right? Accept it. Pays are going to be less. It is not going to give you a lot of money because it will take some time for the economy to come back. There are very few organizations which haven't, cut down the salary. It's a fact. Okay, so accept it rather than being in denial. Nahi, nahi, aise kaise, and I'm good. Of course, you are good. Everybody is good, correct? But accept some norms. Then, of course, what are the categories which could do well? All interesting categories, right from agriculture, security, health, hygiene, managing finances, private equity, home decor, okay, in a safe way, technology products, gyms at home, home health, home fitness, whole lot of things, right, will do well. So that's something for my students. I think professionals and most of the businesses should first, that they have to drop brands that will bleed. Okay, and it will take a very long to come back, so that's why. So for example, it's better that you drop the brands which are not doing very well. Okay, and then you can always do a Rola Cola. Rola Cola, as you know, was a brand very popular in the 90s, and Parley's stopped making it as the market went down. But when there was a demand, okay, for it, and when people started missing it, they relaunched Rola 4 months back. Very interesting case study. Again, so you need to, get out of brands which are not going to help you much. If your brands are making you bleed, don't do that. Look at brands that can go exponentially. And I have just mentioned some categories. I've tried to mention some categories. Then, of course, there is qualitative research. Relook at the brand persona, relevance, and try and see if there's an engagement possibility. What do I mean by this is, every brand talks to a particular personality. Okay, look at your personality. Who are you talking to? Both. And see if there's a match in the area or a new match in the area related to health and wellness. You can do that. Then, of course, you need to relook at all your 4Ps. Basically, for a brand manager, the 4Ps are the beginning and the end of its life. So you need to keep revisiting it. Smaller SKUs, smaller packets will do very well, and also very large SKUs will do well if you offer some good value. And finally, look for some new media. And I have just mentioned a website called, if you all are aware of Worldometer. Worldometer is actually a place where updating what's happening with COVID. Correct? So they keep updating how many people are there, which countries, about the whole world, exactly what COVID right now. Okay, along with some graphs, some lot of data is there. Now, many people across the world are visiting it. Why can't, and Geo did it. Geo actually went and they found themselves on Worldometer, advertising on Worldometer. So look for these kind of interesting new media and you'll be done. So with that, let me quickly thank the team at KLE. I also, we began in a bit of a confusion. So I want to thank again Dr. Giri I want to thank the wonderful team, the tech team behind it, Prashi, Professor Dipali, Professor Neha, and the complete team. Thank you very much. It was fun to be in this KD webinar.
A very
Thank
good
you.
afternoon to one and all present here. Sir, we have received a couple of questions from the audience. So the
Yeah,
very
okay.
first question is from Kuldeep Sonavane. He is a
Yeah,
PGD student of advertising and media from Mumbai University, and his question
okay.
is, which type of advertising is useful in future that is still COVID-19 remains?
So this is any kind of advertising. So there are many, and I'm sure that you all must have studied about the different kinds of advertising, which could be jingle based, or it could be uh, testimonials, or it could be storytelling. I don't think there is any particular kind of advertising which will do better in the future. I think all ads will do very well. What is going to happen though is I don't think brands will be able to get that kind of time earlier. So in between, when YouTube became popular, most of the brands used to actually start they used to launch new commercials on YouTube first, or new campaigns, and it used to be a very long commercial, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then slowly, by the time they would reach the television, it would be edited to something like 40 minutes, 40 seconds, or 30 seconds. So that will not happen. I think, you are going to, you will have to tell your story in short. That's the only thing. And digital media is all about being brief, being in short. So any type of advertising, as long as it makes its point correctly, properly, and strongly, will do well, according to me. So I don't think you need any particular kind of advertising in the future.
Okay, sir. So the second question is, I think you've already answered a part of it, but still the question goes like this. In advertising field, employees can be jobless, and nowadays clients are not hiring new staff. So what other opportunities are there for the advertising students specifically?
I think advertising students they can be complete only when they are aware of say digital marketing or something like that. If you are good at digital marketing, you can connect with very small brands, and you can offer them the fact that you will take care of the digital marketing. If they go to an agency, if they go, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. There is some disturbance. Okay. So I'm saying that you can be a digital marketer yourself for. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir. It is audible now.
So the question
We,
was that as an ad person, as an advertising student, what should I do? Because people are at home, and can I do something working out from home? So yes, you can certainly do a little bit things like you can go to small brands and you can tell them that you can take care of their digital. And I can tell you that digital, there's a lot of demand for digital marketing. Okay, because a large agency will typically charge anything between 1.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, and you can be the person. But you can do that only if you are good at content. If you are able to write something good, that is also another very powerful thing for a digital career. So you need to be good at something. Only then you can say that I can be at home, and I can even be a freelancer. across across brands.
Okay, sir. So the third question is, do emotions or sentiments work actually while advertising the products?
Only emotions work. For 32 years in this business, only emotions work. Man is not a rational animal. Man is an we we are very clear about it, and all research has also proven that. See, I'll tell you a very simple example. The most important decisions of your life, shadi, right? How many of you all take it purely on rational basis? Very few people, correct? Emotions matter a lot, okay, and even it is proven that most of us, when it comes down to the most important decision of your life, you take it based on emotion. You don't take decisions based on rational and a very powerful logic every time. So I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, sir. Sir, and the last question is, it's from Chandani Khatri. He's also an advertising student. His question goes like this:
Yeah.
how advertiser and advertising agencies will be affected by the lack of advertising mediums like cinema advertising, and what will be its impact in the economy?
I don't think they will advertising. The brands will not get affected because cinemas not. See, the only brands which might get affected are some brands. I mean, for them it was a very important medium. For example, if there is, if I am a film producer or I am a film studio, and if my movie is going to be launched in the next say 15 days to 20 days, so for me it was important to be there in cinema and to tell people who have come to watch the film that here my movie is going to come and so fantastic movie is going to come next week. So try and come for that, except for maybe those kind of categories. I don't see, quite frankly, people find out other way. It's like a river. Once you block something, the river turns on its own, and like they say, nobody is indispensable. Similarly, no media is also indispensable. Everything can happen. Anything can happen. But cinema will come back, and this is not a permanent kind of thing. It is just temporary. So we are talking of 2 years, as I said, maximum 2.5 years. After that, everything. I personally want to believe that everything will be normal after that.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs, sir. Over to you, Jyoti ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining black swan effect with various case studies by giving very valuable and fruitful insights. Okay, now I would like to request Ms. Deepali Kadam ma'am to propose vote of thanks and conclude the session.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Uh, all things do come to an end, and so our today's national webinar, which was organized under a theme Media in the Times of COVID-19, organized by BMMC Department at KLE Society's College of Science and Commerce, Kalamboli. I, Ms. Dipali Kadam, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks for today's session advertising and branding during and post COVID-19. And I do thank all the people who are directly or indirectly were the part of this particular webinar. I sincerely show my gratitude to our today's guest speaker, Mr. Mangesh Borse, for his presence out of his busy schedule for today's webinar. Mr. Borse has actually, rather in a real sense, has explained today's session by giving various case studies like Nika, Jeep. Again, he spoke about how various brands have changed their strategies and what kind of impact, rather long-term impact, it will have on the market. Sir also told about like how this particular situation has an impact over the every single medium, whether it is your advertising, whether it is your television viewership, whether it is your newspapers, or whether it is your magazines, and how they have been impacted by today's situation, and how these strategies will have longer impact on the market. I thank our KLE Society's management for their constant support for organizing such activities, and I extend my thank to our principal, Sir Dr. G.D. Giri, for his constant and enthusiastic support for organizing such activities and webinar which will enlighten on various topics. I especially thank our organizing team and of course our technical team for their coordination and constant support for making this particular event successful. And of course, I thank my students who worked hard for making this particular event so successful. Without their support, or rather unflinching support, this event wouldn't have been successful so far. Our heartfelt thanks for the participants for their active participation. With these warm words and kind message, we have to move to the end of our 2 days national webinar, which was organized under the theme Media in the Times of COVID-19. I request all my participants that the feedback link for today's session will be posted on the YouTube chat box, and of course, it will be posted on the Telegram and WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you all the participants.
Thank you.
Prashik, whether streaming is stopped?